All right. We are live. Hello, everybody. And by everybody, I mean the three people in the waiting room. How was everybody today? Hold on. Chris didn't shut off his computer. I'm back. God damn it. Nothing ever goes right on this podcast. How is everybody? We're here, we're live, we're answering questions if you have any. If not, you can just watch me talk. That's purely up to you. I got my boom mic accidentally still in frame, and we're gonna move that right over. Right over. Tonight's pick. We're doing the Black Hole. Waiting a long time for this one. I've seen this film probably 7 times in my life. I don't know. Probably more. This was like one of my favorite films as a kid. Didn't realize how goddamn scary it was as an adult. They deal with some pretty sinister shit. That's for sure. Let's see what else. Any questions about the Night Porter? Anybody catch that episode? I see. Maybe, possibly. Hello, anybody? Has anybody seen the Night Porter? Let alone catch the show. Hey, James Hernandez, how you doing, man? Have I vetoed a movie? Vetoed or voted? Have any of y'all vetoed a movie? Basically, just said no way to a film. Yeah, actually, we've done this for whatever reason. We haven't done Big Lebowski yet. Every time it comes up, none of us want to watch it. Not because we don't like the film, just it's like we've seen it so many damn times, and we just figure we're all going to give it 5 stars anyway. So, like, what's the point? How many Night Porters did you rate the Night Porter? I rated it. I think what was I 4.5, something like that. It's a tough movie to watch, man. I know you saw it, Chris W, because you were in the goddamn room when we were reviewing it. So very tricky. Rocky Horror, yeah, that's another one. That's another one we've had a hard time doing. It's just because it's so popular of a cult film, like everybody knows it. I don't know what the reluctance is. It's just maybe we just know we're all going to give it a great review. I don't know. That and it was tonight. It was between what's the movie we're doing tonight again? I can't even remember. The Black Hole and The Last Dragon. It was like a 50-50 for that. So we went with The Black Hole because I don't know. Everybody keeps requesting The Last Dragon. I guess we just don't give a shit about our fans. We're not doing our job. That's for sure. James, did you catch the Night Porter episode? Oh, good question. It's probably it's definitely a sexploitation. I'd say it's definitely a Nazi exploitation. So yeah, I would probably say both. But it's a little art housey. That's the thing about it that's a little weird. It's just beautiful shots, beautiful cinematography. But subject matter hard to swallow, like very hard to swallow. It might be a one watch for me. You know, one of those films that you just see, you say, all right, that was cool, and you never go again. You never go again. Taxi Driver is the other one for me. I can't, for whatever reason, I can't watch that film more than like once. What movie's coming up at Film Bar? Jesus, it's The Burning. The Burning's coming up. What day is it? Chris, you tell me. Tell everybody. Tell me the date so I remember, because I just follow your lead half the time on this show. Chris, by the way, anybody who doesn't know, Chris is really the brains of the show. It's not Cody. Kyle's good at like mechanical shit, but it's really Chris. Chris really runs this show. If it's so easy, why didn't you just type it? Why do you have to tell me it was easy? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Probably some lag. We'll wait until Chris answers everybody's question as to what we're doing at Film Bar on probably 2 months from now. Definitely probably on a Saturday. That's all I can tell you. Pick a Saturday. You know what? Go down to Film Bar every Saturday. And I guarantee once in the next 2 months that you go, we'll be there doing a movie. September. Thank you, Chris. You don't have an exact date though, huh? Are you keeping everybody on their toes? That's cool. That's cool. Chris, again, master of drama, master of podcasting. So, Black Hole, going back to the Black Hole, I will tell you that this film, along with probably Return to Oz and Escape from Witch Mountain, those were the films that, for me, were on heavy rotation. And I like to say that they, to some extent, got me into horror films. I'm not 100% sure. My mom showed me Exorcist and Nightmare on Elm Street when I was a kid, like 5. My mom is a huge horror fan. Love her to death because of it. Very few. I don't know. I feel like I don't know if anybody else out there had a parent that was like super into horror films and influenced that in you. She read every Stephen King book. Every so often I would sneak and read them. She didn't want me to read those though. There's some adult subject matter that she was always trying to keep me away from. But for the most part, yeah, those 3 films were on heavy rotation in my house. And I get to finally finish the Trinity of Mike Salucio's favorite childhood dreams. Probably going to ruin it again, most likely. Let's see. What else is going on? I brought a martini tonight. This is normally my pre-game drink. That or gin or whiskey or rum. One of those 5. Oh, sometimes tequila. Not cold anymore. It's so goddamn hot in Phoenix right now. It's insane. This podcasting room is like a sauna. I'm surrounded by heavy lights. That's why I look so beautiful all the time, is because Chris is good at lighting and he has a lot of film equipment because he's the only person that makes films anymore out of the 4 of us. Oh, that's right. Guys, I'm being told by my compatriots downstairs that I should tell you that you need to subscribe to YouTube. That's a very important thing. You can ring the bell and like. I can't for whatever reason because I don't count because I'm the person doing the show. But you guys can definitely do it yourselves. It helps us a lot. Helps out with the show. Helps out with the podcast. We're trying to do a lot of new big things. More videos are coming your way. There are some hints that I can drop. Some of it involves children, which sounds very scary now that I've said that. And the other one involves video games. So keep your eyes out on YouTube. We promise we'll be bringing more stuff than just us 4 idiots in front of a microphone talking about, I don't know, maybe the Black Hole tonight, if we can get there. Let's see what else. Anybody out there? Has anybody seen the Black Hole? Anybody a fan of this movie? 1979 Disney film, oft talked about. Black Hole Suns. That's there was only one Black Hole Sun from what I remember. There's a Black Hole Sun in this film, that's for sure. When I was a kid, I used to go to Disneyland. I used to think Space Mountain was based off this. Won't You Come? God, you guys you're really bringing the heat. It so much so. This is Event Horizon Disney style. I assume we'll talk about it tonight on the show, but man, was I surprised at the amount. I seriously think this might be the 3rd film that Paul W. Anderson ripped off to to make Event Horizon. Like, it's almost plot for plot the same film to some extent, except for there's a cute robot in it. Oh, look, Chris was laughing so hard he had to do it in text. That's cool. No, I can't save it for the show. This is the preview of the show. Look at these. Yeah, I think this one of the things I like to do for these live shows. I think it should be a preview of what's to come. Obviously, Black Hole coming out next Thursday. This Thursday we dropped. What did we drop today? We dropped one of those films. Let me check on my my app. What factors you consider determining what is and what isn't a cult film? That is a very good question. There's No Way Hell Congo and possibly these cult films. I would agree with you, James. Cody, not so much. I don't think that Congo is a cult film, but it's definitely has cult film aspects, probably ripped off better cult films. It's definitely a creature feature. I would agree with that. The criteria for a cult film, I think it's really any film that gathers enough of an audience that it keeps it alive throughout decades and decades and decades. Not counting what would be like the main religions, right? Like Back to the Future, Star Wars, Ghostbusters. I feel like those films, yeah, they're beloved. They'll always be beloved, but I don't see those as being cult films. That's like the Christianity, Judaism, and Islam of movies. This is more, who watches The Night Porter? Quite honestly, but who's still talking about The Night Porter? Hopefully not too many people, because it's a horrendous movie to try to watch. But I think it's any film that exists and expands beyond the span of time solely on its fans. So that's the only engine driving the bus anymore. It doesn't have any box office draw anymore. It's just, maybe it's great dialogue. Maybe it's so bad it's good. Maybe it's something that elicits an emotion in you that somehow captures a very small subgroup of people. I think that's an important thing as well. Yes, Deadbeat at Dawn. That's what we're doing. What's going on? Oh, hey, Cody's going to steal a spotlight.
So all those things that you just named off, all those are checked by Congo. They're checked off.
I don't agree with that.
By Congo.
So, anyways, this is my show. I don't know why you had to come. I don't jump in on yours.
James attacked the wrong movie.
James, apparently you made a mistake by offending Cody's delicate sensibilities. Tonight the film that dropped, the review, Deadbeat at Dawn. If you haven't seen that one, I gotta admit, this was one of those films that Chris has been talking about for a while. I did not think I was going to like it. Immediately, I was like, this looks like a cheap action film. I wasn't excited to watch it at all. And yet, as soon as it came on, probably within about 10 minutes, I thought it was one of the greatest low-budget action films I've ever seen. Like, right up there with, to me, I think it's right up there with, like, El Mariachi, films that did amazing things with virtually a shoestring budget and maybe a few bucks to between the two of them. I don't even know. They obviously didn't do any work when it came to choreography. People are beating the shit out of each other with reckless abandon. You can tell they're not trained. And I think it's the one thing that makes that movie the most appealing. Is it's like watching backyard wrestling from like 1998. It's that kind of thing. Just people beating the crap out of each other and having absolutely no idea what they're doing. But I gotta say, man, great film. Some of us thought the writing was a little weak, but I think a few of us actually thought it was actually pretty ambitious for a film like that. I don't know. Yeah, Deadbeat at Dawn, guys. If you haven't checked out the review, check it out. I should probably remind you again that you can follow us on this YouTube page. So when our new content comes out, our new video content, whatever we may be doing, you'll be the first to know. Every one of you guys, specially chosen out there in cyber world for our new and relative content that we're putting out. So hit like, hit the bell. It helps us out a lot. And also, don't forget, you can also, I hear laughing downstairs, you can also request a film for us to review. We've been doing that more often nowadays. We've gotten so many requests that at this point, like, we're not even choosing films for ourselves. Plus, we don't know that many films. We can't compete with the internet. It's impossible. It's one thing I've learned about being a cinephile is that there's always another cinephile that blows you out of the water and knows way the fuck more than you ever do. Yeah, keep them coming. Keep the requests coming in. If it wasn't for requests, we probably wouldn't have done Deadbeat at Dawn. That's for sure. And it was a welcome addition to the old library. And don't miss The Burning, another film that we've reviewed at Film Bar this September. Still waiting on that day. Still waiting on that day, Chris. So anytime you're ready. Take another pit stop there. Let's see. Anybody else have any questions about the show? Anything they want to know? Anything that we do? Surprise, surprise, not a lot of work goes into this show. I don't know if you guys know that or not. Certainly not any research. So, in fact, why not? If you have a grievance, feel free to bring it up right now. Now I will address it. The 13th, September 13th, guys, The Burning, Phoenix Film Bar. If you're in the Phoenix area, get ready. We'll be there. All four of us. Probably not Kyle. He might be at Grimaldi's. Chris, who's on the show, do you have any grievances that you'd like to show? Do you want to start a fight, a feud, as it were, right here, live on YouTube? I'm ready. Nope, he's still promoting. Still promoting. Ever the promoter. Let's see. Still waiting on Kyle. If you were ever wondering what everybody does on this show, we all have jobs. Chris, all the graphics that you see on Instagram or anything else that we put out, Chris loves everything. First of all, Chris loves everything that's happening. But he's also a very important part of the show. He does all the graphics, all the images. He is a wizard at Photoshop. I don't know if that is worth anything in this world anymore. But Chris has a really good eye for design. Let's see who else there's Kyle. Kyle's probably the most important person on the show. Edits every podcast, is our recording master. All of this equipment, even this sneaky boom mic, is part of his doing. He invested a lot into the show. This show probably wouldn't have survived without Kyle. Then there's me. I do most of the writing, although there's not much writing that we do anymore. But I also host the show with my friend Cody, who is not here right now. You missed him because he wanted to yell at James because James doesn't like Congo for whatever reason. But guess what, James? I'm on your side. I fucking hate that movie. It sucks. It's a terrible film, along with Anaconda. Not the best. Owner proprietor of Bluefield Audio. That's another thing. Kyle is the owner and proprietor of Bluefield Audio, the defunct audio company of Kyle Smith, the defunctest, as it were. Almost as defunct as my film blog. Let's see. James, again, what's been your biggest film surprise? Either you loved it way more than you thought you remember it being, or better watching it as a child. Biggest surprise, The Neverending Story for me. I love that film. I still kind of love that film a little bit, but I didn't realize how creepy the Luck Dragon was. It is a weird creature that has some weird sexual eyes toward Atreyu that I never caught before. That surprised me. There's got to be a few other ones. You know what? Tonight, The Black Hole. I'm not going to try to give away my review in any way, but that's a film that definitely surprised me. I don't remember ever being scared at this film when I was a kid. As an adult, I thought it addressed some pretty serious philosophical concepts that are quite frightening about people playing God and how science can affect humanity in a negative way. I'd probably say that film was a big one. Trying to think if there's any others, man, that like really just out of nowhere surprised me. like I said before, Deadbeat at Dawn. I hadn't seen it before, but it was one of those films that I didn't think, just by looking at the cover art, that I would really like. Doom Generation is another one. That was a film I didn't think I would like very much. I spent most of my time getting my hair cut at Chris's house, staring at the poster and just thinking, that looks like a fucking stupid movie. And I was wrong. That's a great film. I don't know if anybody else on the show has that effect. I don't know. Vanishing Point, Deadbeat at Dawn. I think these are Chris's picks. That's right. Chris doesn't like kung fu films. So does Cody to some extent as well. They always used to bash us when Kyle and I tried to pick it. But Riccio was one of those films that Chris just loved. Vanishing Point, that was another film. I had heard about it for years. I had almost tried to avoid it. But when I saw it, I think I gave it a 4 or 5, quite honestly. That's a great film. And yeah, Deadbeat at Dawn. Female Prisoner, hands down for Cody. I think it's Cody. He's speaking for the rest of the podcast. So I'm going to say it's probably Cody. Yeah, Female Prisoner was a good one. That's a good film. I can't believe you guys aren't. What about Lady Snowblood, man? That was a sick-ass film. Probably one of my favorite samurai films. Yeah, Lady Snowblood. Oh, you know what? This is a good time to share with you, our captive audience. You're getting the first real Threads. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, Threads is definitely another one. You're going to get firsthand knowledge of the films that we're choosing next month. So Black Hole started it. And we have a few more. Let's see what we're doing. The Burning? Really? Nah, dude, you like that film. That's like right up your alley. Let's see what we got here. This is the most exciting part of the video, where you watch me on my phone try to look things up. Never saw or heard of it. Yeah, but like, you had to have known, Cody, you had to have known that The Burning was a film that you would like, just based on, I mean, did you do any research? Why am I asking? Of course you didn't do any research. No, we didn't do any research, but I mean, you had to have known it was a slasher, and that was right up your alley. Of course you didn't, Chris. You only do research for the films that you pick. Man, where is it, guys? August. There we go. Here we go, guys. Lineup for the month of August. Away we go. We are doing But I'm a Cheerleader. That's a film that I have seen. I don't know. I can't speak for the rest of the other guys. Battle Royale. That is a film I have tried to watch multiple times. For whatever reason, I have not been able to get through it. I either fall asleep or someone calls me up and says they want to hang out. And for some reason, I also feel like, I don't know, maybe the film wasn't engaging. Maybe I'll like it this time. I don't know. Exorcist 3, a pretty goddamn good Exorcist. So I'm excited to do that one. You would think we would have done Exorcist 1, but no, we're going straight to 3, guys. And we already did the Black Hole. And actually, nope, the next one is going to be The Last Dragon, since we were on a 50-50 split on that one. I think it's about time that we do The Last Dragon. It's been a while since I've seen that film. I remember loving it as a child. So back to James's question. Let's find out if it ruins my childhood yet again, this podcast. We got 5 minutes left, guys. If there's any questions, anything else you want to know about what we do here, how we choose the films, we'll let you know how we make the sausage. So this time in my martini, I did Catastrano olives. I think that's how they're pronounced. They're like very green. They're not like, they don't have pimentos in it or anything like that. my Italian upbringing, like olives are my kryptonite. So Kyle's always good. Anytime I'm having martinis on the show, he'll edit out the chewing because it's fucking disgusting. But I feel so close to you guys right now. I just wanted to share it with you. Shut up, Chris. What do you know, man? I gotta look at your face every day. You're making fun of me about my olives. Let's see. Anything else? The Burning live. I'm excited to see The Burning live. If I remember correctly, I feel I was pretty indifferent about that film. I think I gave it like a AMR shirt. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that means, dude. AMR shit? I don't know what that means. I'm excited to see this film. I think it's a film I didn't like. Maybe I'll get surprised. There's been a few times, and that's another thing. Anybody that's still out there, films are drastically different in front of an audience. That's one thing that I have to say that I have learned from doing this live show over at Film Bar is that there are just some films that, you put it in front of the audience and it reveals things that you didn't know about the film. One particular film in general, Street Trash. When I first reviewed the film, I liked it quite a bit. I thought it was pretty good. Not a big fan of like the Melt movies. Never been a real big fan of like trauma films too much. This one I thought was pretty good at the time when I watched it, but we put this in front of an audience of about 75 people, and I gotta tell you right now, never did I realize, if you want to know where the lulls in a film are, where there's just it is just dragging and you're just waiting for something to happen, just watch it with an audience. It'll reveal the entire film for you. That movie, man, has got a giant black hole right in the middle of it where you're just sitting there waiting for anything to happen. And unfortunately, for most of the audience that day, nothing did. So they didn't laugh. I'm happy that we did the film. It was quite a surprising pick for a lot of people. It's one thing I like about doing these live shows at Film Bars. It's an opportunity to see these old films, these old cult films, finally in front of a big audience, in front of the big screen. That's a big difference too. It just gives you the impression that you're there, back in whatever 1975 at a midnight movie. We get a lucky slot. We don't get the midnight slot because they don't have one, but we have a 10 p.m. one, and it's we've brought in quite a crowd. Our last one, we had a fight. There were two guys fighting up in the back, and it was for a hard ticket to Hawaii, guys. I mean, if you're fighting over a hard ticket to Hawaii, you got to really think about what you're doing with your lives. This guy was very excited over that film. He was very excited to see the breasts of a woman that's probably in her 70s at this point. The old 90s breasts, full of 90s stuff. It's not paradise all the time. It certainly wasn't paradise that night. It was probably the rowdiest crowd we ever had. We saw 3 people walked out, but like not in a bad way. Like they just, so with our shows, we actually encourage people to talk and have a good time, quote the movie, sing the songs if we're doing a musical. This one, we might have taken that just a bit too far. But yeah, you're right. It was still a fun show. It was a good show. I'm so glad that they keep asking us to come back. That's important to me. Yeah, just so if you're in the Phoenix area, like come on down to the show, check it out. We'd love to hear you. We'd love to see you because we'll actually be in physical contact with you. Nobody got hurt. Yeah, thank you, Chris. Thank you for alleviating. I'm sure everybody was like, I wonder if somebody died. Somebody died at Film Bar? They're checking the local news to see if I don't even know what the headline to that would be. 2 men beat each other to death over 90s semi-softcore porn movie. All right, we're closing it up now, guys. We got a few seconds left. I just want to say again, if you're not following us on YouTube, follow us on YouTube. Click the like button. Help us out. We need the help. We don't make a lot of money at all. All of us hold down regular, boring jobs that some of us hate. I like my job, but I will say it is not. It's not a job. We don't make money doing podcasting, and you can help today. Help us. This is like one of those Sarah McLachlan things. Don't help a puppy. Who cares about it? Help us. Help us. Help us make better shows. Help us make better videos. Subscribe today. And thank you, everybody. We will see you next week. We're doing this live again. I don't know who it'll be. Whoever I guess feels like doing it. Maybe it'll be Kyle, who's just walking in right now. Very late for the show today, but for good reason. It's because he just got engaged. I'm announcing that right here, live on YouTube. Kyle Smith got engaged. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. You're a few weeks behind, but I appreciate it.
I'm a few weeks behind.
Yeah.
We didn't announce this on the show.
No, we didn't, actually.
But now everybody knows that you, sir, are engaged. It makes two people who are engaged. I'm engaged, he's engaged, and Chris is never going to be engaged. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming out for all you guys. And we'll see you next week.